Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Oliver Wiedmaier at Ollie underscore all caps on X. I'm going to show you in real time my full weekend routine, how I find trades going into next week, how I find market leaders, how I remove names off of my current watch list. I'm going to show you everything completely transparent. I'm going to show you the parameters for all my scans I run. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to try to hopefully get this done in about 20 minutes, but we will see. I'm going to talk through it, but I will be moving quickly. So if you need to pause and come back for certain things, then of course that's what you need to do. So where do I start? Well, the way that I start is first thing I do is I think about the current environment. And so the current environment is this. Leaders are extended. The indices are working on the right side of their base. The 50 and 200 SMA are flopped right now. And we are in a very high volatility market. Just had a fantastic run in May, and current new breakouts are not sticking. Okay, and as we go through some charts, I will make comments on those specific breakouts that are failing. So I'm going into next week thinking, okay, I'm probably not going to go from 5% exposure to 70% exposure or 20% exposure to 90% exposure. I'm going to just manage what I own and then just track for setups. Okay, so a little bit more on that later. But what do I look at as far as breadth indicators? So I typically look at the RSP, which is the S&P equal weight. We are still we're turning down a little bit on the NASI, but we're still a little bit elevated, okay? And for the equal weight NASDAQ, the number of stocks above their 200-day moving average is just around 40%. So I want to see that getting above 50%. So I want to see half the stocks in the S&P above their 200-day moving average. On a very positive note, the number of net highs is day after day after day is positive net highs. So that is very constructive. So let's go over what else I do. So first thing I do is I manage I have two lists. I have a leaders list and I have a focus list. Okay. Coming into the session, I had no names on my focus list. I only just had my leaders list. So very quickly, this is what I'm going to do. Anything that has lost their respective moving averages, I'm going to remove. Okay. And so that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking right now just to remove stocks from their remove stocks that have lost their moving averages. And this is something that can be done very quickly. Does not take a lot of effort, and honestly, a lot of these stocks, since they are leaders, you see them in just a frozen rope is what I call it, and that means that essentially there is no spot to enter. Having a very hard time trying to get involved in Uber on this pullback, but it has lost relative strength, and I'm really having a hard time here. This stock now is setting up very nicely. Want to see it come through 1044. Okay, so this is looking good into next week, but right now we're not focused on moving things over to the focus list unless there's absolutely a fantastic setup. I would say this is not a fantastic setup. We are about 8 ADR from the 50-day moving average, so that's going to stay on the leaders list. If something does stand out, it looks viable for Monday or Tuesday, then so this, if on holdings loses the gap up low, then it'll get kicked off. But for now, holding up just fine. I'm going to treat the same. I'm going to treat PODD the same. That is looking really nice. E is looking fantastic. A, yeah. So that looks really good. So this can actually get moved over because this is a really great setup. If it breaks out, let's say 175, oh sorry, 173, 75, whatever that, yeah, 174.26. So let's take a look. It's less than 2 ADR from the 21-day moving average, and it's less than 4 ADR from the 50-day moving average, which means that it has 2 or 3 ADR to the upside, and that could potentially take us to all-time highs where we could use this level as a target for some profit taking. So this is a very, very good setup. Okay, so we're done with that. And so now I'm going to run my scans. And so what I'm doing for my scans is I run a 1 month 30% scan. And I put this in what I call bullish work. And then I do a 3 month scan. So this is 3 months 50%. I used Control A. And that is going to pick up all of these names. You have to scroll down a bit. And then I put this again in bullish work. And then I'm going to do the same thing, but with 6 month 100% gainer. Okay? And just make sure everything, so I do the Control A again. And make sure everything is selected. Okay, so this is going to go into bullish work. Now, I'm going to look at bullish work here. And so bullish work now has 490 stocks in it. Typically, this is going to be upwards of 1,000. And so off the bat, this is a data point that I'm taking note of. That means that maybe we are not quite pushing out the performance that we want to see. We did have a really fantastic run last month, but we obviously have not a ton of stocks participating. And so I'm going to click through, and I'm looking for 2 things. I'm looking for stocks that have fantastic momentum like this. Okay. I'm going to flag this with the green. Okay. That means it's a leader. This is a leader to me for a few reasons. One, it has this volume signature here. HVE is highest volume ever. It has relative strength here. And this is certainly not buyable at the moment. But this is something that I want to keep my eyes on. And so I'm going to look for stocks that look just like that. And then I'm going to look for stocks that are very tight. And it looks good too. That have an entry point for next week. I'm going to stay away from biotech type names. This is an interesting one. And then if I see anything really tight or really like looking like Monday or Tuesday could be an entry, then I would flag it for the pink, which is a focus list. But typically, a lot of these names are going to be flagged for green, like that. And you can do this very quickly. It doesn't take a lot of time. It's obviously going to slow me down a little bit since I am talking and giving a little bit of insight. But this is what I do. This is very simple. It's repeatable. It gives you data points. For example, I noticed that there's only 490 names, not 800 or 900, or sometimes even 1,100. And so when when you go through this process, you are getting an idea of sector strength. You're getting an idea of Red Robin. Okay, so this is on theme with the restaurants, right? Eat is obviously the leader there. This is in a downtrend. I'm not that interested in it. This keeps me in tune with sector strength, right? I'm noticing a theme with restaurants. It gives me an idea of how many names are participating in the momentum. And it kind of gives me an idea of how many setups are available and ready to go into next week. Typically, if there's not a lot of setups, there's a lot of stocks that are strong but not set up. It's a good thing. This is a breakdown. So this is a good example, right? So you have this nice tight action. You have a breakout, does not close above the breakout, and then it starts to break down. So this is kind of the environment that I'm speaking about. And again, when you do this, this is a way to, you're looking at all of these strong stocks and you see, are they continuing higher? Are they getting tighter? Or are they breaking down? So this is a very simple process where you're looking at a large net of names and seeing what is working, what is not, where's the strength. Okay, so let's take a look at that. This is interesting, right? Because you have nice, strong momentum. You have two nice, tight days there. It's a biotech, so I'm going to keep it moving. This is IT. I don't like it. I don't think it has any earnings. So, of course, I want to see stocks that have some sort of earnings. Okay, metal company. The metals company. Pretty crappy earnings. ADR is 11%. This could work for a quick trade. This isn't some sort of stock that I'm looking, that I would be looking to take a massive position in, or try to hold for the long run. But this could work for, a 1 or 2 day trade. Okay. So I flagged that for our focus list. Breaking down here after the big gap up, we're going to give it a little bit of wiggle room, but if it loses that level there, then it'll get kicked off the leaders list. I don't really consider that a leader, but it is certainly a stock that I like looking at because does have high ADR. Grind, I was losing some relative strength here. It is getting nice and tight here. I have an alert set here. I don't really like this setup. I prefer more of a flag. So I'm not even gonna really pay that close of attention. A lab, losing some relative strength here, so I can just keep on with my process here. Nice reversal, but I am not that interested in it. I really only want to focus on the absolute best. And if there's any reason for me to exclude it, then I will exclude it. I'm going to set an alert here, but it is a little bit extended. And not really a name that I'm actually that interested in anyway. So you know what? I'm not going to set the alert. Frog had a really nice gap up here, and then it starts to break down immediately. So this is exactly what I mean by new buys are not working. This is a fantastic setup here, but it just did not work. I'm going to flag it for a leaders list just so I can keep my eye on it because it does look pretty good other than that breakdown. What is that? CVI. Energy. Okay, so I'm seeing some energies, names. A lot of wicks here, so I'm not that interested in it. I'm going to try CYH. So this is a healthcare name, a little bit thin, but we're not seeing a lot of healthcare names participating. And so I'm going to flag it so I can keep my eye on it. Duolingo, this is definitely a leader. Really great. It is, however, now that I'm looking at it, it does look like it's losing some RS here. So let's keep an eye on it. But again, breakout did not have any sort of follow through. So that is the environment that we're in right now, which makes me cautious going into next week. Not cautious like the market is going to roll over, but cautious like maybe new buys are not working. So maybe I don't need to participate every single day. Had a hard time with this name. I bought it as it came through here at 372, and then I did an add-on, and then I sold a nice chunk into strength, but then I got stopped. I break even, which was okay. This is shaping out to be pretty nice. Oklo had a nice reversal here. We will see if it can tighten up next week. But again, I'm not that interested in every single name that has a reversal or every single name that has a breakout. I'm just looking for the best of the best. Had an alert at 896 triggered today and never took it because I knew the environment was not favorable for breakouts. And so those are the things that I like to keep in mind every single day as I go into the session. Are breakouts working? And a lot of times throughout the year, breakouts are not working, which is why I kind of like buying pullbacks. This is just trading sideways, doing absolutely nothing, and it's starting to lose some relative strength. So I'm going to flag that just to keep an eye on it. Unbelievable strength here, an absolute leader, a monster stock. Rubric is awesome, but not making it easy to enter the trade. Pretty strong stock, but just not a stock that I'm all that interested in now. It does move pretty well, but that and Carvana, just not my type of stock that I want to get involved in. I like to see GEV base here, but this is definitely a leader, but it needs probably 2 weeks and maybe a shakeout or two for me to get interested in it. Palantir starting to lose RS. If it breaks below this level here, I have a feeling it's going to visit the 50-day moving average. But as of right now, not a stock that I am interested in buying it. I'm going to flag it just because it is an institutional darling, but it seems like it's starting to lose some relative strength. So we'll see how that plays out. Shop, very good move today. I'm going to flag that as a leader. The RS turned up again today, but definitely a name that's very hard to get involved in. Coming up on 19 minutes here, and we are not close to being done. Bros is a leader, hard to get into. It had this breakout here, and it squatted. The reason why I don't trade this type of breakout is because the stock is already running into the breakout. I like to see it pull back before the breakout. There's no real pullback, okay? So like something like this, right? I'd much rather buy something like that because there's momentum and then it pulls back and then it comes out, okay? This is running up and then up, running up and then it breaks out. So not my type of entry. Okay, we're going to keep on going. Go losing RS. So this is another theme we are seeing. These stocks that had really great earnings or really nice gap ups and big volume is starting to lose RS. And so that is something that's in my mind, something that I'm keeping track of. Nice gap up. We'll take a look at that later. It's getting nice and tight there. I don't hate that setup. But again, nothing so far that I have seen, I'm like, I gotta buy. Maybe that eat setup. But other than that, nothing is like, I gotta buy on Monday. Which is a huge data point. Probably the most important data point when it comes to determining the market environment is how many setups are there? How many stocks do you have to own tomorrow? Nice, reclaimed some RS. A little bit of a choppy stock, but we'll flag it. Again, notice I've only flagged one stock to buy on Monday. So that is telling me something. Rocket Lab, a nightmare to trade. I've been in and out of this thing. It's very difficult to hold on to a position. What is Road? What is this stock? Finance, engineering, construction. Interesting. What's the ADR on it? 3.6. Not that impressive. Okay, let's keep on moving. Carvana's an absolute animal. Teed up. Very impressive. ADR is probably pretty low on this thing. 8.65. Okay, so we'll flag that. But again, no entry for Monday. Dave, fantastic stock. Major bank, but no entry for Monday. Hims, nightmare to trade. Pretty good reversal today, but this ugly reversal from the gap has got me totally uninterested in it. App is looking good. No entry, though, for now. Dave & Buster's, some entertainment, restaurant type deal. Super good here. Medical group. Okay, so here's, something that I've been taking notice of. There's not seeing a lot of healthcare names, so it's maybe an area you want to explore to see if healthcare starts to get under accumulation, which stocks are going to really outshine. Nuclear names did really well, and then they sold off, and then they bounced. So it's like just data points for next week. Let me try to fly through here now. A lot of these names I'm very familiar with. I see these stocks over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So I know what's looking good. I'm just looking for something new. But, the thing is, when we are in a market that is so strong, there's not a lot of new stuff. You kind of already know. Celsius. Haven't seen Celsius in a long time. That's a nightmare to trade. It has reclaimed the relative strength, which is very good, but I'm not that interested in it overall. I know that ARC K today had a fantastic breakout on high volume. It moved too fast for me, so I did not. We'll flag laser. We'll flag QBT, QUBT, Clean Spark, Affirm. That's a dud. CRMD, fantastic name here. Dang near impossible to get involved in this. I bought it here and then I sold it here. And I should have kept some shares on. Let's look at that from a weekly perspective. Fantastic. But that is a part of the game. pizza. Let's see what pizza's looking. Yeah, I mean, coming off the lows, unbelievable, but not letting us in. Domo, what does Domo do? Pack your software. Groupon, not that interested in that sort of name. Perch, I know that this had a nice gap up. Really nice reversal today. I bought and sold, got smoked on this. Let's look at the earnings. 157% EPS. So let's flag this as a leader. Credo, we're going to flag this. Getting very tight. RTI is dropping to 0. This is something that I want to own. Let's look at it from at the 1 hour. Yeah. Let's get out of here with that. I like this. We'll put some, I'll flag that for Monday. The way I like to manage these is I like to put on a very big position, and then by the end of the day take a peel, and then as it's moving higher, I like to move up the stop. Here's a perfect example. I bought hood here, gave it a little bit of wiggle room here, and then I took peel. I did a small add-on on this day. It went sideways. And then I did another small add-on here. Actually, this is not an add-on. This is my current average. Is this here? I did an add-on here, and then today I took another peel. Fantastic name. Obviously a leader. There's no question about that. It is the true market leader, and it's just getting started. It needs to cool off. At some point, it will. We'll flag QBTS. Brine Technology. Brina. Not that impressive. 200% volume. We'll take a look at it. We'll flag it. But I'm not that impressed. If it had 400 or 500% volume, close out the high, I'd be way more impressed. Okay, we are getting close to the end here. But that's basically it. That's exactly how I do it. We are at 27 minutes, so we're gonna come in under 30-minute weekend routine. The only difference between what I'm doing now and what I'm gonna do after this is I'm just gonna set alerts, and that's it. Sizzle, unbelievable. No way to let us in. And another one that is running really good. I'm not going to chase something like this. And that's it. Root. Let's take a look at Root. Not that interested in Root. So now there we have it. We have 65 names on the leaders list. We have 3 on the focus list. I can probably trim down now that we've done this exercise. I can probably trim the leaders list down. Maybe try to get it under 30 names, which is a little bit more manageable. And all I'm going to do is basically set alerts for over consolidations, and that's it. And we did it in under 30 minutes. And so if there's any other questions from a day-to-day perspective, I run a couple scans every day. Every day I run a gap scan. I look at what stocks had big gap ups on high volume. I add that to a leaders list. I look at 10%. So this is 10% change. And I'll click through that very quickly, see any big reversals. And then also we'll run a RVOL scan, which is stocks that made 3 times their typical volume. And again, I'm just looking for heavy accumulation at some sort of key level. And that's an area for me to trade off of. Other than that, that's what I do. Those are the scans that I run, and that's how I manage it. Going into next week, from a day-to-day perspective, I'm just moving names from leaders to focus focus to leaders, set alerts, and trade them. I hope this helps. Thanks a lot.